would like to welcome everyone, and especially our guest, Bas Fransen, founder and CEO of EcoMatcher. EcoMatcher is the world's first technology platform that enables businesses to increase customer and employer engagement through smart tree planting. For around 2 years, I have enormous pleasure to work with Bas, to engage in this beautiful initiative together with some of Nebu customers, and we are all busy spreading the message and promoting that initiative of smart tree planting into fieldwork and marketing research industry. So we are doing some work of translating that beautiful idea into our industry. And Bas today will take us through the journey of what EcoMatcher is, how the whole thing started, how it works. You will see mobile apps and actual trees that are being given on your behalf to your maybe respondents, maybe panel members. Bas, welcome, and how about you take over?
Thank you, Margaret. And as you mentioned, you like to work with EcoMatcher. The pleasure also is ours to work with yourself and with the Nebu team. So thank you for that, and thank you all for joining this afternoon. Maybe what you do, put on the volume, of course, I presume is up. What I will do first to get started is show you like a 45 seconds video to set the stage. So here we go.
Are you looking to increase response rates for your questionnaires? Now you can. And the best part? Do that while giving back to the environment. With EcoMatcher, you can reward respondents for completing a survey by adopting a tree on their behalf. They can track the tree and will know the specific location of the tree, along with the farmer who's taking care of it. EcoMatcher only works with vetted non-profit organizations who are specialized in planting trees. So let's make the world greener, tree by tree, survey by survey.
Very good. All right. So the idea is the following. As we all know, climate is changing. Actually, we should not so much talk about the climate change, but more about the climate crisis. We see that in every type of things, like in an increase of the number of climate refugees. By 2050, the United Nations expect to have 1 billion people on the move because of poor climate. Also, we see more and more typhoons, not only in the typical usual areas, but also in places where it may not be so usual that a typhoon may appear, and those typhoons are becoming more frequent, they're becoming bigger, etc., etc. People today even are linking the coronavirus to a poor climate, but I will not go there in this particular.
No. Maybe, yeah.
So what can you do about this? What can you do about the climate crisis? Planting trees is a very simple solution, and for example, the University of Zurich has stated that tree planting has mind-blowing results. Of course, you only get mind-blowing results if you go into some massive tree planting. And massive tree planting for especially companies has not happened today so much. And one of the key reasons is that tree planting is not transparent. Has not been transparent to date. But that's where we as EcoMatcher come to the table. So we're a B2B platform, and we're helping corporates to respond to the climate crisis I just talked about, one tree at a time. And I will come back to that as we move forward. So first of all, what do? We are planting trees and complete forests with foundations or NGOs we vet from around the world. I will share with you the ones with whom we work today. We have developed technology which enables us that we know everything of every tree which is being planted, including the farmer. You can virtually travel to every tree using satellite maps and learn more about those trees. And we also offer a complete digital platform, which offers a number of solutions to help companies to integrate tree planting in their businesses. So let's give you some examples. Companies of EcoMatcher are using trees as meaningful gifts. So instead of a plastic pen or a plastic USB stick, companies are now gifting their customers trees they plant on behalf of them. We have companies who are offsetting their carbon footprint with a specific number of trees. We have companies who are, through EcoMatcher, planting complete forests and gifting every employee in the company a tree of that forest. Trees, you know, those employees can travel to their tree, look at their tree, but also can look at the trees in the forest. You make them part of the sustainability journey of the company. Today, the focus is more on gifting unique rewards for market surveys. Together with our partner Nebu, we have actually integrated both platforms seamlessly. So through APIs, the Nebu platform and the EcoMatcher platform are seamlessly integrated. And with trees, we have demonstrated that you can increase respondent engagement. Respondents like the fact that they can opt for a tree as a reward for a market survey. You can use trees as an incentive program for panel members. For example, you exchange points for trees. And last but not least, you also have an opportunity to communicate the theme of tree planting with your members, with your stakeholders, and that increases your brand recognition. People in general feel better, whether those are employees or customers, with brands who are in a transparent way addressing the climate crisis. So how do we work? What is the secret sauce of EcoMatcher? So first we work with those tree planting foundations from around the world. What we do through a mobile app we have developed, we call that Tree Quarter. We capture every tree which is being planted. All that data is being seamlessly synchronized with the cloud. And once we have inspected and checked all the data, we'll move the data into what we call the tree shop and make that then available for customers to adopt, to purchase. We also have a digital platform we call the Tree Manager, which allows you to make use of those trees, to gift those trees, to look at those trees in many, many ways, many options. At the end customer has an ability to track to the tree. So let's say you give a tree to one of your customers. This is a URL or a link. You can send that through our platform or through your own platform. Once that link is being selected, the customer will travel virtually to the tree he or she has adopted and can look at the tree and can look at the farmer. You also can watch that or track that not only on a web app, but also on an iOS app. And I will give you a demo in a minute. Tree Quarter, just for your information, is an app we developed, as mentioned, which is used by the foundations. And so records all data in one go. So the moment a farmer or foundation takes a picture of a tree, we record the date of planting, the GPS coordinates, and more. The Tree Manager, as mentioned, gives you the opportunity to make use of the trees you have purchased. You can look at the CO2 data. You can have tools at your disposal to best make use of those trees. And like we have done with Nebu, you can automate the gifting process through APIs we have built. The app, I will skip this for now. I will come back to the app in a minute, but the app is a new platform, both on Android and iOS, where you have multiple options to track the trees and do more. Again, I will give you a demo in a second. We are working today with 7 foundations in the countries mentioned here. So basically we're on every continent at this moment around the equator, and more partners are coming this year. The ambition of this company is to plant 1 billion trees. We're well on our way, and we need more partners to fulfill that dream. Currently, we're looking into India to add to this list, Costa Rica, and a few more. And if you have, being here on the call, suggestions for foundations who are specialized in tree planting, please bring them to me, and we can maybe explore them as a potential partner. So what are the options for customers to choose? You can trial, you can, for example, adopt 10 trees. It's very easy, and you can try out the platform. But you also can plant a complete forest. And this is the main kind of offering we have at this moment, where companies are planting thousands of trees in a single location. Or if a company has global employees or global customers, they can offer a global forest, where you plant multiple forests in multiple locations. This is an example of a forest of 1,000 trees. Every dot here, we have every detail. We have a picture of the tree. We have a picture of how this tree will look like in 5 to 8 years from now. We have a picture of the farmer. We have dynamically calculated a CO2 number per tree, but also of the collection of the trees. You can name the forest. You can give that a name, the Nebu forest, or whatever forest name you want to give it. And to every single individual tree, you can virtually travel to and look at that tree. We even have built in Tree Chat, which is a chatbot-based technology based on Amazon technology, where the end user has an ability to talk to the tree. That sounds weird, but people use it. We can see that in our backend. You can ask the tree, how old are you? Where do you live? What do you eat? Do you have enemies? What do you think about Donald Trump? Here you can see a couple of our customers. The list is significantly longer, but on the right-hand side, the right 4, you may see those that are typical market research companies, and there are some other companies, being announced in the next month as well.
Yeah.
Just on the last slide, what members say. So basically, very, very positive experience, and I would love to invite you to have a discussion with Nebu as well with EcoMatcher to see how we could collaborate. Now, what I will do, I will see Margot Zata to go to my app. Let me see, how do I do that? So I need to stop share here.
Yeah, because within this year, Bas, you released mobile applications, right? EcoMatcher is now available via online platform. So how the flow works if you are a Nebu user, how the flow works is that based on any given conditions, it's your decision how you want to reward your respondents with 1 tree, with 10 trees, or how many points panel members can redeem to get a tree adopted on their behalf. So the conditions are up to you. And then from there, what is happening is that there is a unique URL being created through those APIs connections that Bas mentioned, and without any of your manual involvement, a person that is being rewarded a tree, they received an email with a link to their tree right away without even registering on the platform. They can see the tree, they can visit it anytime, they have all the information about the tree they just received. But then at the same time, a person who is being rewarded a tree, they can create an account on the EcoMatcher platform. So whenever they receive another tree, they can see an overview of all the trees that they own. They adopted. And this year, EcoMatcher also released a mobile app, which makes it even more user-friendly and brings another very attractive element for me, for example, as a person that I already have a few trees, but what I can do through the app is that I, as a private person, I can also adopt some trees on behalf of my friends when I go to a birthday party, instead again of buying just yet another maybe plastic, not such a necessary item. I can also start taking advantage of the app myself, and it only reflects good on Nebu, because the trees that I received, I got them from Nebu as a rewards with doing a good job. And then every time when I reward someone as a private person with a tree, I keep mentioning the story. I reiterate the Nebu name, and it might be happening also for your brand name. So maybe you might be even you might be able to engage more people into your panel, because friends of a panel member will hear about it. But okay, Bas, how about you take over and show us the app?
Yes. So what I have, what you see on the screen, I have now in my hand my iPhone, and this is the opening screen, the home screen of the app. And of course, this is an example. So I have, in this particular example, 11 trees. And I first of all can see how much carbon is being sequestered to date of those 11 trees. So that number 148, you see that number going up. You know, if you look at it tomorrow or the next week, that number will be different. What you also have here is the number of, you can see my trees. Those are the trees you have as a consumer. The tree, and you have two other things which I'll share with you in a minute. So let's go to my trees. So I now open the trees I have, and those are trees which I have sent in the past couple of weeks. Now, Bas Fransen with that particular picture will be, if you are the one who gifts a tree from somebody else, from your company, then your brand will be there. So every time the customer will go to my trees, will see a brand impression of your company in this particular app. Let's say we go, I'm selecting here the one tree to give you an example. So what we do now is to virtually travel to the tree in this particular case in Thailand. So this is an sample tree in Thailand. So we're zooming into to Thailand. And now what we can do, we can scroll down and you can see, okay, this tree was planted by myself, but if this would be Nebu or PwC or whatever company, the brand will be there always. You can see what the tree's performance is in terms of carbon's CO2. I can give that tree a name, like, you know, my favorite tree or something like that. You have information about the tree, how the tree looks like when it was planted, but also how the tree will look like in 5 to 8 years. So that gives the customer an idea of the tree which he or she owns. You have the planter name. You can send the planter a message which we will convey. And also we have information about the foundation, which in this particular case is CNF in Thailand, which has been planting the tree with the farmers. Now you've seen Tree Chat. Let me do a quick demo of Tree Chat. Personally, I like that a lot. Maybe for some, you would say, what is this? But we can see in the backend, as mentioned earlier, that people really like that. What do you eat? Can I ask the tree, what do you eat? So now the tree is thinking and will come back with, I drink water and absorb the sun through my leaves. That keeps me healthy. Now, to give you an idea, you can also ask the tree, tell me a joke. Tell me a joke. All right, now the tree is will tell you a joke. And so the idea is to engage people with planting trees in a kind of fun and an engaging way. Let's go back to the home screen. We have the next one is, you can see gift trees. So what does that mean? That means the following. So if I, for example, go to a birthday party and we call that particular person Maria, and this is maria@gmail.com. So this is the person who is organizing a birthday party, and I would like to give her a tree as a gift. So now I have the opportunity using different themes. For example, you can see here birthday. I can send now a tree by email to her, which she will receive in her email with a customized, branding, happy birthday, and a personalized message like, love you or something like that. This was what, if I press confirm, that email will be sent. Last but not least, in order to encourage people to get more trees, to buy more trees, you can go to the tree shop. And the tree shop has all the foundations with whom we work. So for example, you are interested in planting trees in Peru. Well, then you go to Peru and you purchase the trees either using Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Visa cards, PayPal, etc. So this, in a nutshell, is what the app is all about. From a branding perspective, I repeat, if companies are gifting trees, then the brand of the company will be visible in the My Trees in this particular screen. So Malgorzata, this in a nutshell is EcoMatcher, including the latest app we launched a couple of weeks ago. And we're very excited to work with Nebu and clients of Nebu and partners to grow and plant a massive amount of trees altogether.
Yes, we believe that in this industry there is a lot of room for growth. We have a lot of respondents, a lot of completes being made every day, a lot of panel members, many points to give. And clearly we also have to take a little bit of ownership and help our planet with what is happening about the climate crisis. And that's a safe, smart way to do so, to care about people, planet, and also helping you increase your profits through that process. Thank you, Bas, so much. Are there any questions? If you have any question, there is a Q&A section. You can find it at the bottom of the screen. Maybe let's give just a moment. The question is what is the cost of one tree and what is the cost of a forest?
Yes. So a single tree costs $3.49, $3.49 per tree. What does that include? That includes all details of that particular tree, including picture of when it was planted, picture of how it will look like in 5 to 8 years, farmer, details of the species, the license to travel to the tree indefinitely, and also the adoption right indefinitely. So that's all included in that particular price. A forest of 1,000 trees will cost $3,390, so basically $3.39 per tree, and a global forest will cost $3.29 for a tree with a minimum number of 3,000 trees split over 2 or 3 locations.
Thank you. And we have yet another question. How can I make sure that the tree will survive?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. We need to realize that, of course, that we are working with not human beings, but with natural products. So there is a risk that a tree will die. Now, our job as EcoMatcher is to minimize that risk. How do we do that? First of all, we only work with foundations or NGOs who are specialized in tree planting and who have a proven track record. And we before they join our platform, we have a three-step vetting process, which is we also describe on our website. And only when they are going through the vetting process, then they will become a partner of ours. Things where we look into, for example, is, do they have their own tree nurseries? Are they growing quality seedlings? Because that's important. Another element we take into account is land ownership. So if trees are being gifted, seedlings are being gifted to farmers, then we need to make sure that those trees are being taken care of by the farmers. And that normally happens when land is owned by farmers. So what we don't do is plant in no man's land, because no man's land, nobody takes care of those trees. Another element is that, you know, the foundations or the NGOs are working very closely with the farmers and figuring out what type of trees are relevant for those farmers. So there are basically two types of trees which we plant. Actually, in terms of species, it's 50 or more around the world. But the classifications are either a fruit tree, which will bear fruits over some time, and that is an income generator for the farmer, or trees which are helping to improve the soil of the farmer, which the farmer then can use for growing crops. So those are a couple of elements which we take into account. The last thing, we don't plant, even if the foundation is very qualified, but we don't plant in, for example, areas like Borneo, where there are forest fires due to the palm oil industry. We also have decided not to plant in Australia because climate change is there so rapidly accelerating that there is very little likelihood that we can say that those trees will be there for a long time. Or in places where there are very frequent typhoons, we also don't plant. So we look at really at places where we try to minimize the risk that a tree will not make it. Thank
you. That sounds very good. And indeed, I do remember how you were telling me how every other country, in every other country, you see also different ways of planting trees. Like sometimes they are being planted as a fences to save crops from animals, or exactly using the fruit trees to help the household with some extra income from selling the fruits. It's really beautiful how actually we are also supporting local people. It's not only, it's already a lot to do what you're doing for the environment, but it also sometimes provides some extra income for the local farmers.
Yes, and if I may add to that, Margolzetta, I had the pleasure to meet up with lots of farmers, for example, in Nepal or in Uganda or Indonesia, and the fact that we are involving them and making them part of the platform, it's also, the idea also is to make them, in their eyes, a bit more important. We promote them as being our, you know, the warriors who are planting the trees. And every time when I go there and I show them on my laptop or on my mobile phone the technology we have developed, and also show them that they are being kind of highlighted on the global platform, and that people in the Netherlands can look at a farmer located in Indonesia, but also that the farmer in Indonesia can see on Google satellite maps exactly where the trees are he has planted, and he can see his own house. It's fascinating to see the feedback from those folks, and they feel even more involved in planting trees and the effort we try to pursue.